Welcome in to the Joe Cali Show. My name's Joe Cali. We've rebranded. We were Cali Talk Sports. Now we are the Joe Cali Show. And it's pretty exciting. We're starting right at the perfect time, right at Super Wildcard Weekend in the NFL. It's exciting times. The Bills taking on the Jaguars, especially I'm based in Buffalo, so we're going to focus on the Bills and the Sabres and all that stuff on this show. But we are going to look at the national angles as well, sports betting as well. So a lot in store for you here, but it is Super Wildcard Weekend. We'll kick it off with the Bills and Jaguars. There's a lot about this game. The national media going in on the team, in on the Bills, the pressure to make it, that they've never done it before. Without Mahomes, without Lamar, without all those guys, they should be making it. And I just think that's, propaganda at its finest, right? Like, in all seriousness, the Bills, I don't think, are the ones that are on the if not now, when train. I think it's Jacksonville. I think it is Denver. I think it is all these other teams. Maybe L.A., Stafford retiring soon, right? Like, all these other teams, the Bills have been in it for 7 years. They have the longest streak in the NFL. They're going to be back. That is not a question that anyone needs to be concerning themselves with about the Buffalo Bills. I'm not entirely sure where the narrative came from, but, the talking heads are going to talk, and I guess that's where we ended up. But it's interesting to be on this side of it, right? The Bills being the only of the godfathers of the AFC to make the dance, right? Make the playoffs. And the position they're in. They're playing Jacksonville. They're the 6th seed. They're on the road. They're heading to Jacksonville, a place where they broke the drought. It's where the first game after the playoff drought was broken was. And they lost in embarrassing fashion with Nate Peterman ending the game on an interception. Like, it just wasn't great. This Bills-Jags matchup is very interesting because the Jaguars seem to be the most complete team in the AFC conference this year, right? And the Bills are hot and cold. Their offense, the general manager couldn't put together a competent receiver room. The play calling is interesting. You don't really know what you're getting from them. But the defense has been kind of showing up the past couple weeks, and you have Josh Allen. The Jags have Joshua Hines Allen. They have Trevor Lawrence, who is, has been playing really well this season with Liam Cohen at the helm at head coach, but has a track record of choking in big moments. You have ETN, running back, a good running back, one of the top running backs in the league. That's just kind of not an explosive runner, which the Bills struggle against, right? So, without the explosion, the Bills their run defense is a little better for that, but a little bit of a matchup. Then you have some good receivers. They picked up Jacoby Myers in the middle of the season, so they built themselves a pretty good team to go toe-to-toe. But I think the Jags are good at both offense and defense. Special teams, they're phenomenal at. I'll give them that, with Cam Little nailing shots from 68 without question. But they're good at both offense and defense. They're not phenomenal at one. The Texans, phenomenal at defense. Their offense, not great. The Broncos, their offense, hot or cold. Bo Nix, is he really it? Not great. But their defense is good. Like the Patriots, they can't rush the passer, but their offense is good. They're going to score points. The Bills, I don't know where they fit into that equation, but the Jags are kind of just good at both. They don't really have something that excels on either side of the ball. They're not reinventing the wheel, if you will. So I think the Bills-Jags matchup end of it is interesting. And I think it's going to be a fun game. It's going to come down to the wire. These two teams are built for it. So I think we're going to now kind of go around the league a little bit here, especially looking at the playoff picture and what exactly we're waiting for, because we have a pretty stacked playoff picture here. And I'll wrap up thoughts on Bills-Jags, especially because, they're the 1 o'clock matchup on Sunday, but there's a lot at stake for the Bills. There's a lot. The whole criticism of Sean McDermott, the whole criticism of Josh Allen, the criticism of Brandon Beane. Joe Brady has a lot to play for. I think it's Beane and Brady that are huge moments for this team. Huge moments. They have to come through for those two guys if they want security, especially Joe Brady. General manager's harder to move on from, but I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. Earlier in the week, Bills-Jags was the Bills favored by 1.5 on the points, right? So Now you're looking at the money line, though, and throughout the week, that turned into more of a pick 'em. The Bills were minus 108, the Jags were minus 112, and then all of a sudden they're both minus 108. So I think Vegas is telling you where they're thinking here, and it's just kind of, either team could win. The Bills, I like in this matchup because if you're a Buffalo fan watching this, you think back to the Cincinnati Bengals game from this season. The teams that team and this Jags team are similar, except the Cincinnati Bengals have a better quarterback in Joe Burrow. Trevor Lawrence has been playing well, like I said, though, so it's not that far off. You have Chase Brown, who you held to basically nothing in the rushing attack. You let him throw to him, but ETN is a good running back as well. Chase Brown's a good running back, so you're able to stop him. The Bengals have all talented wide receivers. The Jags also have very talented wide receivers. Their defense, they're going to be able to rush the passer on you a little bit, but outside of that, they're not world beaters by any means. So I think it's going to be kind of a similar game plan the Bills have to have going into this game as they did in that Bengals game. Make Trevor Lawrence uncomfortable. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to. He's prone to do that. He likes to throw down the field. So make him do that and make him throw an interception. He has the most, turnovers, fumbles, and interceptions. He accounts for 90% of them on the Jags this season. There's a lot there that you're going to be able to take advantage of, and I think they will. So Bills, Jags in the 1 o'clock slate on Sunday. We'll start with the AFC, and then we'll go over to the NFC, even though it's a little earlier. Recording this on the day of the start of the wild card weekend, the January 10th. So Rams, Cardinals will most likely be finished up by the time you see this episode. But Bills, Jags starting things off on Sunday for the AFC. And then we'll get back more into the Bills a little bit as we go because the Patriots-Chargers matchup could be very interesting for Buffalo. So with Chargers-Patriots, I like what the Patriots have done this year. They won the division over the Bills, right? They did they played a fourth place schedule, and there's no avoiding that. I do think they're a legitimate team. I think Mike Vrabel has something going there with Drake May and company. Got him the receivers he needed to be fine. Like everything worked out. So I do think they're hosting the Chargers too. So the Chargers playing in cold Foxborough, New England. But I do see Justin Herbert and the Chargers. They're a very gritty team. They're going to be able to get down and dirty and get the job done, I think. Especially because, as mentioned, the Patriots don't rush the passer all that well. They don't. And I think it's telling. The Chargers, this is probably their best matchup they could have asked for. Because now, New England can't rush the passer. You have a battered up offensive line. Immediately, I like this matchup a lot more for Los Angeles. And that's why I think they're going to be able to get the job done. Jim Harbaugh's a great coach. Justin Herbert's a great quarterback. He's been playing at an elite level this season. They have a good receiving room. If they're able to get some stuff going, they also have a rookie running back, Omarion Hampton, who's been playing really well. And the Patriots do too. Okay? Henderson, he's been great. Rookie running back. And they have a great receiving room. Drake May's a great quarterback. This is going to be a battle. I do think the Chargers, though, are going to be able to come out on top. Just because I think Herbert's going to outplay May a little bit. And, this is all just my opinion. You can think whatever you want, but we haven't seen these games come through yet. We don't know what we're watching. So I got to say, I'm leaning very heavily towards the Chargers in this. It's going to be a close one, but I like Los Angeles in this situation in New England. That would then, the Chargers beating the Patriots would open up the Bills if they were to move on. And we'll get further into the scenario, but if they were to move on and through the next round, and so were the Chargers, the Bills could then host another high-mark game at the stadium before it closes. And before they move across the street next year. It might piss off Mad Dog on ESPN because he had a meltdown over the fact that they did the closing stuff on the broadcast, even though it was fine for anybody else watching. I didn't see any other complaints. If anything, they really enjoyed that. So, so the Bills if the Chargers win, it keeps their window open to host another AFC championship in the final year of their stadium. We go to Monday Night Football, okay? Folks, this is where this could get a little interesting because I don't hate the Steelers in this matchup. I hate Mike Tomlin as a coach. I don't respect how, he coaches the punting. It's just all punts. He just gets 500 seasons, just over 500. This year, a couple more games, normally 9-8, and He got to 10-7 this year. So it was pretty exciting for them, I guess. But I got to say, the Houston offense does not scare me at all. It's all their defense. I take Aaron Rodgers, a veteran quarterback with playoff experience, over C.J. Stroud any day against that Houston defense. If they're going to be able to dump it off quick and their offensive line gives them a little bit of protection, they've been playing hot. They've won 4 out of the last 5 games. The last game they lost was to Buffalo, and they've turned it on the burner since. So, they're coming in hot. If I'm Houston, I'm a little worried about that team. And I know that's weird to say. Worried about a Mike Tomlin Steelers team. But in all seriousness, I don't think Houston is as, strong as everybody wants to say. Sure, their defense is going to be able to do it, but the Bills got obliterated by their defense when they played them, and they lost by 4 points. Have a little bit better of a day than they did, and guess what? They win the game. I don't know. They're gettable to me. The Texans do not scare me. That's why if they do move on and the Bills go to play Houston, I'm not fearing that. Even if it's in Houston and the Bills haven't won there since 3 presidential administrations ago. I'm not there. I'm not worried about it, as a lot of people are. But Pittsburgh, I think, they're going to, you dog walked them earlier in the season, so maybe you got a chance to do that again. But either of these teams, I'm not really worrying about if the Bills were to play them again. So, and they would, theoretically, in the scenario I'm laying out here, as the Chargers would then go to Denver as the lower seed. So we'll take the Steelers. I'm there. I think Mike Tomlin gets his playoff win with Aaron Rodgers. They get bounced in the divisional round, but then he doesn't get fired like John Harbaugh did. He doesn't get fired. Now we go over to the NFC conference. Panthers-Rams. So this game, you might not catch this one up to date, as I'm giving a prediction the day of, an hour before. So this might be posted well after this game is underway. But Panthers-Rams, this could be interesting. Panthers beat them earlier this season. So it's a little bit of a revenge game for the Rams here. And I do think they're the better team. I do think the Rams are up there for the Super Bowl for a reason. So give me the Los Angeles Rams over the Carolina Panthers. I think that's self-explanatory enough. The Panthers limped into the playoff spot they had because with the Buccaneers, they were duking it out for who could basically not make it at a point. So give me the Rams over the Panthers there. And then we look into Packers-Bears divisional matchup. Ben Johnson in his first year as head coach makes the dance, right? Makes the dance. He's in the postseason, but I do think LaFleur and the Packers do get the job done. I know they split in the regular season, but having played recently and kind of knowing maybe what you're going to get from either, they can make the adjustments in the game plan to make sure they get a win there. So give me the Packers over the Bears. And then also, finally then, 49ers, Eagles. 49ers, I think, are beating the Eagles. The Eagles have been inept offensively this season. Their offensive coordinator, Ken Patullo, basically feeding them baby food and expecting them to put a 5-star meal together with it. So I think the Eagles are a little fraudulent sitting here, but I do think the 49ers are legit. They got through the injury bug. Injury bug's bitten them hard the past couple of years. They got through it, and they're looking good. Brock Purdy plays really well. Mr. Relevant. He's just proving people wrong every year he steps on a football field. So I have the 49ers overtaking the Philadelphia Eagles. So the next field of the playoffs would see Denver take on the Chargers in the AFC, and the Bills travel to Pittsburgh for the AFC divisional. Then in the NFC, it would be the Rams taking on the Seahawks. Sorry, I'm just trying to read the super small text here. The Rams taking on the Seahawks in the divisional, and then, the Packers taking on the Seahawks in the divisional, excuse me. And then it would be the Seahawks duking it out with the Rams. So that could get fun there in the NFC. NFC is a lot more interesting, I think, than the AFC this year. But, we'll have to wait and see what happens as these playoff games are just kind of getting underway here. But honestly, it's an interesting field, and I can't wait to recap this next week. We're going to get a couple episodes out to you every week, and I'm sorry this is a short one. Just want to make sure we get the predictions out for the AFC Super Wildcard Weekend and NFC Super Wildcard Weekend just before everything gets underway here. So you guys have something to watch and something to go off of. But we're going to do this on a more regular basis now, whether that be football, whether that be hockey, whether it be sports betting, whether it be anything you guys want to see. Could even be NBA. I'm not the biggest NBA guy, but we can look at some games around the league and see what happens there. Golf going to be a heavy topic as well, so stay tuned. This is the Joe Cali Show. Excited to bring this to you guys, and follow on X at Radio's Joe Cali. You can listen on YouTube, listen or watch on YouTube, and you can listen wherever you get your podcast. Apple, Spotify. You can also watch on Spotify with their video feature there. So without further ado, that's going to wrap it up for this quick one of the Joe Cali Show. I'm Joe Cali, of course, and I hope you enjoy your Super Wildcard weekend and buckle up. Hopefully, being from Buffalo, hopefully the Bills can take care of business. Let me know what you think, though. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Who do you see taking the crown? Who do you see? Do you see the Bills moving on? Are they frauds? The Jags going to win the Super Bowl from the AFC? Lots of narratives out there, lots of thoughts, and I want to hear what you guys think. So, again, like, comment, subscribe down below, or at me on X, formerly Twitter, at Radio's Joe Cali. This has been the Joe Cali Show. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. We'll be back with more next week. Have a good one, everyone.